Okay, now I'm just going to show you really quick my setup and how I go about reloading. And by no means is this the end all, this is just the way I do it and the way I prefer. What I have is the bullets I'm going to use for the reloading, the powder and the primers. And my advice to you would be only put on the table the powder you're using at that time. Because if you have 3 different containers of powder on there, if you get screwed up in any way, you don't know which one you were using, you could cause yourself big problems. And never take the powder out of that container and switch it to another container. Always leave it in the container it came in. Better to be safe than sorry. Same thing with the primers. If you're using different sizes, because they have small primers, large primers, so be very careful with that. So there's the primers, the powder, and the lead bullets that I'm going to be using. There's the Dillon. And I'll show you more of that once we get going and reloading. I have all my brass already cleaned, ready to go. Rubber gloves. Because I am using lead, I just figure gloves are the easiest way to keep your hands clean. I have a primer flip tray that I made. You can purchase them for like $18, but this works just as good. This is the primer pickup tube. I have my scale and my secondary scale. And you don't need a secondary scale. I just feel more comfortable with double checking everything. I have my micrometers ready for the quality checks. I have a go, no-go gauge basically. And because I'm using, this is a brand new barrel, I'm actually going to use the barrel for quality checks too. That is overkill, but like I said, this is a brand new barrel, and I know this check gauge worked really well for the last one. This one's just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to double check with that. I keep a couple patches and some solvent. The dyes, especially if you're doing cast bullets, the bullet lube will actually fill the dye cavity, and that can cause you big problems too. So every now and again I take the dye out and I just push a patch through it with a little solvent, clean the lube out of it, because that will mess with your tolerances. And then what I like to do is I like to write everything down. I like to keep track of everything. I do pretty much 20 checks for every 100 that I reload. The machine is capable of well more than that, but you know, I figure it's not a race. Better to be safe than sorry. So I keep track of everything, write everything down. Primers, powder, what my overall length of the casing, the finished bullet is, and down here I put the grains and what my readings are for my quality checks. And you need your load data. Double check everything. Don't take somebody's word for it just because they use a certain load. Double check everything, triple check if you have to. Better safe than sorry. And I double check my load data that I have found in other spots to my Modern Reloading by Richard Lee. Great book, especially if you're doing cast lead bullets. Great information in this book. So that's the setup. I like things a little bit organized. Again, this is just my own personal preference of how to do it.